It's morphin' time! Hello, this is Soundout here, and welcome back to another Power Rangers Lightning Collection review. We're kicking off Wave 2 with the Lost Galaxy Magna Defender. Whether he's the vengeful warrior from another planet trying to avenge his son, or the very honorable soldier from Terra Venture who gained the powers after he was deemed worthy. Magna Defender is a very unique and special character in the Power Rangers mythos, and I'm so excited he's in this line. And that may be just because he's my favorite Ranger of all time, but that's probably a lot of bias and nothing more, and that's why he's getting reviewed first. This wave also includes the Mighty Morphin Pink Ranger, the Beast Morphers Gold Ranger, and the Beast Morphers Red Ranger. But out of all those, I was most excited for Magna Defender. Having them all now, I'm reviewing Magna Defender first. It's just the easy choice for me. It really is. This wasn't like I had this decided from the second this wave was announced. So anyways, before we begin, let's talk about this little thing. This is a nice little full color Ark Sheet that was given out to those that pre-ordered from Hasbro Pulse. You get one of these with every order, so you didn't have to order all 4 figures to get one. I actually have 4 of these, which is pretty nice. They have the full color art from the packaging, and on the back they have a little cutout guide as well as little character bios. So we're going to focus just on the Lost Galaxy Magna Defender. The original Magna Defender saves Mike Corbett, a soldier of Terra Venture, from a deadly fall before possessing Mike's body to aid his escape from the deep chasm. When the Magna Defender later sacrifices himself to save Terra Venture, Mike inherits the powers and joins his brother Leo's team of Lost Galaxy Rangers. Very nice bio, no major inconsistencies, which means it was written with care and love. And like we took a look at the packaging art, we won't spend too much longer on the box. It's the same art here. Boxes are white for retail releases, and they have a specific color if they are an exclusive. So there's that. I like how his image actually takes up the whole box back. A lot of empty space has been left on some of the other boxes. And I like how the horn continues to the side. That's just a neat little detail. So we'll stick that back there, and let's take a look at the Magna Defender. This figure is very, very cool because he's very unique. This is not something that's going to get, I think, repainted directly in anything unless they suddenly start doing like Battle for the Grid Player 2 colors, or if they do like a Battle Damage Magna Defender, which please, that would be so cool. He'd come in a pack with Zika and a Mike head. That's the biggest thing that a lot of people mention is like, where's the Mike head? Well, so far Hasbro's included helmetless heads with each of the Rangers, except Mike. The reason I think for this is because Mike does not appear without his helmet on at any point in the series. Not during the morph, not during any scenes, not even in promotional images. There's no image of Russell Lawrence in the Magna Defender costume, period. I can't find one. There's not anything. So there's definitely no reference for it. And while they could have included the head, I think they may have decided not to. Plus, it may have helped on the budgeting. I think one of the biggest things here is that because he's a completely new mold, has a lot of paint, doing a photoreal head for a Ranger who never appeared without his helmet on may not have been in the cards this early. Like I said, there's always a chance we could get like a Battle Damage Magna Defender. That'd be a good way to release the Mike head later on. But overall, that does not detract from the figure at all. This is fantastic. So whether you want this to be the original Magna Defender or if you want it to be Mike, he'll fit in your display very nicely. Very great helmet. Love the very clean, sharp paint done on him. I love the metallic green that they added for the head jewel as well as the chest emblem. That pops really nice. And overall, I'm really happy with a lot of the paint details. The only thing really missing is the paint on the belt. So the belt itself is done in silver. Previous figures in Magna Defender used black instead, which in the show itself it is black with a silver trim. By making it silver, this means that if you so wish, you could fill in the black between the areas here, and that will allow you to have the silver trim already done, which I think the silver trim would be harder to paint. That's just a personal thing, just because I'm not really good with intricate, detailed paint yet. So that's something I'm going to definitely work on once I get this video done, so that I can kind of fill out a little detail, because that's like the only major detail missing from Magna himself, which is pretty awesome. Now, the other cool thing is the cape. I like the cape. It's got like a nice cloth look to it. It is, you know, soft plastic. It's not cloth itself, which I'm fine with. Cloth capes can get kind of tricky. I got a lot from Mattel that curl, so I don't mind the plastic. It's not too heavy, so it doesn't like drag him down. It's pretty light and flexible. It's not like Marvel Legends capes, which are really big and long. And overall, with the way his hips move, it's gonna run into the ground here, but you got about there, and you'll be fine. Because it's swooshing to one side, it gives you a lot of options. So it doesn't really impede his articulation as like Marvel Legends Visions 1 I can't have in a wide stance at all, just because his cape's too long. So this is really nice. I do like the way they've done the cape here. And articulation is really great too. Much like with Goldar, I'm really surprised at how many different joints he has and how much range of movement he has due to the bulky armor that he's wearing. So we got, you know, heads move back and forth, up and down, a little bit side to side. It's not so up as much as it is or down. You can kind of get like that nice down stoic look, but the up is, you know, it's kind of restricted just because of the design, really. The shoulders move out, and this shoulder pad is magic. And what I mean by magic is that if you move it forward, it moves out of the way. Move it back on the butterfly hinge. If you pull it forward, it's just out of the way. The way they did the hinge, it's very secure. I don't feel like it's gonna pop out. Looks like it's molded through. This just, it flips like that. I like that a lot. That's just fantastic. Like the fact that it works just like it does on the costume from the series, where it just moves out of the way of the arm, is perfect. Bicep swivel, double jointed elbow, wrist swivel, wrist pivot, forward and back, which is pretty nice. You got a ball jointed torso like the others, and an ab crunch. And the ab crunch is the only thing I don't like too much, just because of the way it's done. It's, you know, designed for movement. You can get pretty far back and a pretty good crunch forward. I think crunched forward looks fine, but when you have anything that you can see the belt, it just looks weird with this belt being its molded piece, but it's supposed to be molded because it's part of the bodysuit, not a separate piece like this belt. So, you know how that can be. Hips move out pretty far, forward, back, thigh swivel. It's hidden really nicely by the armor. Double jointed knee, pretty good range all things considering. And forward and back ankle pivot, as well as the side to side. So you've got this pretty good, pretty articulated Magna Defender. I'm pretty happy with it overall. Speaking of pretty things, let's look at that sword. So it comes with the sheath, which would be the, you know, basically the barrel of the gun mode, but the sheath is packaged with the sheath on. Now, I hope this doesn't lead to paint rub in the future, for like if you leave this in the package for 10 years and then open it. But I'm glad it's included like that because the blade is perfectly straight now. All the other swords I've gotten for Lightning Collection have been curved in some way just because of the package. So I'm really glad that this exists to have that. And I think the holes in here might help with the paint being able to breathe. The sheath itself is unpainted, but something you can add details to. It clips nice and tight there. And you can actually fit, you know, the sword in his hand. I'm saying things that are totally obvious to anyone that's ever played with action figures. Accessories go in hands of figure. So the sword itself, in the original promotional images, I said it looked kind of short, but I think that was just due to angles and things. It is a little short. Checking the one in the show, it should be a little bit longer. And that may be because of the holster, maybe because of a bunch of other reasons. Toy designing is not easy, I can tell you that much. So I don't know why it's a little bit short, but it is pretty much the only thing I really have a complaint about. And so if that's the only thing, I think I'll survive. Overall, the gold paint on here with the silver is just really well done, and the gold gem, or the green gem, just fantastic paint on the sword, which I think is one of the most iconic parts of the Magna Defender, is his sword. And not to discredit the blaster mode, we get that as well. So the blaster mode itself, really nice. I like the gold detail on here as well as the detail around the handle. It's got a peg, so if you did want to peg it to his sheath, to his belt, you can do that. I mean, I guess it's like a drawing, because you know, have him draw the blaster. That's pretty cool. You can probably draw the sword. I'm going to do that in a bit. So the blaster itself, it comes with this other hand. This is supposed to be the hand it's supposed to be used with, but I found that even if you get it like all the way in, it's still not that great of a fit. So what I kind of like to do instead is either put it in this hand or put it in this hand, which is a much tighter grip, so that way you don't have to worry about the blaster falling out. And then you can take this hand off, swap it for this one, which is also a nice dramatic gesture hand, but also allows you to have the reload function from the Magna Blaster. And then to top that all off, you can just add this little effect piece, which is a new effect piece. It looks a lot like the Iron Man effect, but it's not the same. And you got that, so now you got, you know, Magna Defender blasting whoever and whomever he wishes. Whether he's fighting Rangers because he's trying to avenge his son, or whether he's fighting monsters because he wants to protect Terra Venture. Either or, really nice effect, really cool, really fantastic figure. Now, this should not go without understanding. I'm always going to give this guy a glowing review because of who he is. Any Magna Defender figure is going to get a glowing review from me just because it's the character I love so much. He is my favorite Ranger in Power Rangers, and that goes for both of them, not just Magna Defender, but Mike as well. And so this figure means a lot. This is something that I didn't expect this early in the line. I kind of expected him to be kind of like a, you know, oh, they didn't make it forever because, you know, you can't reuse any parts. But here's Hasbro just showing up and saying, hey, just because he's unique doesn't mean we're not going to make him. And I think also it's been really great, you know, even if Beyond the Grid was a story that didn't do very much justice to Magna Defender and a lot of the other characters from shows that we know and love, you know, Beyond the Grid at least did elevate him to a main character status, which I really did appreciate. And I love his inclusion in Battle for the Grid, not only as a playable character, but as a story mode as well, having an entire story chapter to himself, which was really awesome. I'm loving the Magna Defender love. I'm really feeling it. This is just topping it all off. I'm not asking for, like, Hasbro to make a full-size 1-to-1 Lightning Collection prop replica Magna sword that turns into the blaster with the proper sound effects. That's not what I'm asking for. Or a full-size Magna Defender helmet, or anything like that, or a redo of his Morpher, or anything like that. I'm not asking for that. I'm not asking for a battle damage Magna Defender in a 2-pack with Zika with a bonus Mike head just for the heck of it. Not asking for that either. But if it all happens, I'm going to buy it. So overall, great figure, highly recommended. Quick comparison, just want to throw this in. Here's my old Magna Defender from 1999. Kind of the one that started it all. Lost Galaxy was a show that I watched as a kid, and it was like the first one that I really got into the toys with too. So this is just awesome. I love this Magna Defender. This is a great toy here. This is a great toy here. I'm really impressed with Hasbro here. This is still one of the most impressive Bandai 5-inch figures from back in the day too. So thank you, Hasbro. Thank you, whoever designed this and sculpted this figure and did so much well-deserved love. I do appreciate it. So thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button. Leave a comment down below telling me that I'm too much of a Magna Defender fan, or try to argue with me that he's not a Ranger, and I'll fight you to the end of the last day of the argument on the internet. And also be sure to subscribe for future videos, as I do have the rest of Lightning Collection Wave 2 coming this week. Video-wise, it's going to be going up once a day, so that'll be pretty exciting. And also be sure to check out Ryan Darklaw643 on Twitter at Darklaw643. He is the graphic artist who did the opening animation as well as the thumbnails for these videos, and he is awesome. So check him out. And check out Hero Club at hero-club.com for all your Power Rangers news and more. Follow me on social media links at the end of the video if you so wish. Until next time, this is Soundout saying goodbye.